Chapter 2.
Can I mine these things? I could use some credits, I could use some health back. Surely there must be some reason to earn some dough. Or some method. Zhao stationed Daniel on this planet, but I'm not picking up any readings. Is something wrong with the sensors? It doesn't look like a planet anymore. The sensors are working properly. I'm sorry, Firehawk. All facilities are destroyed, and the planet can no longer sustain life. A feeling of dread flushed over Keb's face. That's impossible. Weapons of mass destruction were used on the planet, and the atmosphere is negative 180 degrees. How did the temperature drop so dramatically? Doesn't matter. Daniel get away. That's right. He got off the planet before this happened. Kev's mind stirred with memories of Daniel, and he couldn't keep them from coming out. You should have seen him. He always scored the best on final exams. Everyone wanted him as their partner in pilot training. That's about the time we became friends. No one looked shocked more than me when I became his partner. I asked him once why he chose me. He said, "You have potential and maybe the only pilot to give me a challenge." I could tell he was being modest. To think that he may have died on this planet without any honor, without one last chance to fight among the stars? Keb returned to the same cold stare as before. Dawn felt something wrong with Keb, but she didn't understand it. A new reading appeared on the view screen. Our sensors have picked up a ship. What is it? Is it a Zhao ship? What is it? It's the virus. How many of them? Only one. Perhaps it gets separated from the fleet. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Perhaps it's Daniel. We need to follow it and learn what we can. The virus. At last, I'm going to kill every one of them. Keb was still visibly shaken after learning the fate of his friend. Don't kill it until after we study it. Try to stay at a distance, it won't detect us. Understood. If it tries anything, I'm going to blast it. I don't care what you say. I know how you feel. I was programmed to destroy the virus. I may not be able to restrain myself. I assume I just have to... Oh, it does say undetected, so I guess I just have to, what, follow it? I don't think it's moving very fast. Am I just supposed to run into it? Or are I literally supposed to just follow it without ever being spotted? I have to tap W every now and then. Otherwise my speed just decelerates to nothing. You know, I'm not even sure it's moving, if I'm not moving. I kind of also want to save, but I did take some damage. Let's check out my ship. Yeah, it's kind of broken up. I think this one's a little damaged too. Yeah, as well as this one is minorly damaged. No, it's heavily damaged. Alright, so it is moving. I just don't know how... Or well, if it kills me, I'll redo that section off camera. Or if I fail the mission. It says I am limited to one save, I can't just like save an experiment. I just don't know if I'm really supposed to be undetected or if I'm supposed to interact with it. Like, the game instruction obviously says followed undetected. I don't know how far that range is. But as a game mechanic wise, I haven't seen anything in the game that permits that. The only time it asked me to follow something undetected, it knew you were there. I feel like it's moving at the same speed I am, almost. So if I'm going fast, it's going fast. If I'm going slow, it's going slow. Perhaps that's what it is. It kind of keeps pace with you so that you can follow it undetected. Oh, it just turned. It's circling a sun. And combat music has started, so... Well, I've followed it. I guess I'm supposed to interact with it now. I just want to take shots at it right now because I hear the battle music, but that's the gamer sense in me. Okay, there. I guess I was supposed to bump into it. We finally caught up with the ship. I don't know what I was picturing in my head, but I didn't expect this. Don't be fooled by this small ship. I'm picking up an interesting energy signature. What is it doing to the sun? It completely drained the sun's hydrogen. It's like nothing's left but the core. I can't believe it's happening again. This is a nightmare. That's why Daniel's planet was completely uninhabitable. I've seen all that I want to. I'll get to work. Who said that? Can I see Hidel? Okay, yeah, that's Pyrock. That's why Daniel's planet was completely uninhabitable. I've seen all that I want to. I'll get to work. Arcadia left in a hurry to another part of the ship. The energy signature I detected earlier is spiking. Something is happening. Arcadia had yet to return before a bright light flashed across... Arcadia had yet to return before a bright flash... Arcadia had yet to return before a bright flash... Wow, I cannot speak. That comma's like throwing me off every which way. You don't need a comma there. Arcadia had yet to return before a bright light flashed across the view screen. What happened? He said the question aloud, but was fully aware of the answer. The virus ship duplicated itself. You need to tell me what's going on. What exactly are we fighting? You do not have access to that information. Don't give me that. Are you telling me that after all this time you still don't trust me? He kept yelling at Dawn for the first time. His anger and comment hurt her in a way she wasn't used to. Don't give me that! Are you telling me that after all this time you still don't trust me? Here I am risking my life for you, and all I get was, you do not have access to that information. I'm not sure how to respond. You are a man, I can see that. Maybe I should come out. Dawn materialized in her physical form and approached Ken. She didn't know what to say. If there is anything I can answer, I will try. I do not wish for you to be angry. Did I what? Alright. Did I say you could come out? No, I just thought I could help you. I don't want to see you. Get back in the ship. Like, I get this is supposed to be a protagonist, but I don't like him. I don't. I'll leave. Dawn quickly obeyed and vanished. Moments later, Arcadia emerged. What's going on in here? Apparently Celine was right. You've known what the virus is all along. How does he jump to that conclusion? Because she has information she won't tell him? Were you going to tell me they used astro technology just like Morpher? What makes that... I guess... Sure, alright. I just saw one use morphic duplication right in front of me. This is not the best time to explain. We need to deal with the threat right in front of us. Just tell me this. Did you know? Arcadia searched for the right thing to say. She didn't want to make the situation worse. I didn't know they were capable of morphic duplication. This is something only Morpher can do. Dawn interrupted before she could finish. The virus detected us. Well, yes, I'm like in spitting distance here. The virus detected us. Both ships are attempting another duplication. They are powering weapons. Oh, I'm doing serious damage to these things. And they're hardly hurting me. I feel like this is a trap. That one that just split off, is it duplicating? No, nothing. Alright, let's split them off so I can shoot them. Trailing backwards still works. But it's also not as interesting for you to watch, I think. Still, get the most hits in not counting the bolts that smash into each other. That's the last of them. They almost duplicated faster than we could kill them. I'm beginning to see why no one has evidence of their existence. They'd literally come and vanish without a trace. Here we are after a major battle and nothing to show for it. No dead bodies, no explosions, no debris. It's like it never happened. How can you defeat an enemy like that? It's not all that it seems. The virus has a body too, just like Morpheus to Dawn. We can defeat it. Daniel didn't stand a chance against an enemy like this. My friend is dead. Kev didn't have the energy to yell anymore, but he did speak his mind in a seemingly calm manner. Are there any more secrets you're keeping from me? Kev's eyes were so empty. It was like his soul had vanished. I didn't know they could duplicate. You have to believe me. It wasn't this way before. Kev interrupted her. It wasn't this way before. She was gonna get to that. It wasn't this way before. He repeated the words, wondering what she meant. It doesn't matter. What's done is done. Dawn. Yes, Firehawk. Are there any virus ships in this sector? And here I was hoping that you'd have the decency to apologize. There are no ships on long-range scanners. We are safe. Then do me a favor and morph into your largest ship. I need time to myself. I understand, Firehawk. The ship morphed and Kev quickly left out the room. Any secret buttons? Doesn't look like it. The room felt cold and bleak. Arcadia and Dawn sat together quietly against the wall, waiting for Kev's return. He's been gone for hours. Do you think he'll ever come back? Yes, Dawn, you don't have to worry. I would say it's unlike you to worry, but I know better now. Dawn's expression looked calm. If it wasn't for her words, Arcadia wouldn't have known she felt differently. As I sit here, I can't think of what our next move against the virus should be. When Firehawk's around, I feel like I can do anything. Arcadia tried to collect her thoughts and understand what she was saying. I think I've really come to depend on him. Didn't we just literally have 2 missions with you on board? I feel the same way. And he just yelled at you. The moment grew silent again as they sat another minute. He is in pain. He's alone and afraid. What did you say? Dawn wasn't programmed to understand what Kev was going through on that level. Where is he now? He's in the second corridor, 3rd room on the right. Dawn also wasn't designed with human tracking abilities, yet she knew his exact location. I'm going to him. Arcadia stood and walked a long distance to where Kev was located. By the time she arrived, she had thought of a dozen things to say, but none of them felt right. Kev sat leaning against the wall, arms over knees. The room was dimly lit. He had a pale expression on his face, which was uncommon to his personality. Arcadia walked closer and knelt in front of him. She wanted nothing more than to see him smile again. He didn't look up. They sat for a minute, not saying anything to each other. Finally, she broke the silence. That's a unique name, Keb. When I heard it back when we were kidnapped, I thought it was special. Were you named after a friend or family member? She felt stupid for asking the question, but wanted to try to talk with him. He didn't look up, but gave her an answer. It's not my real name. I gave myself this name when I was an orphan. You're an orphan? I didn't know that. Why did you choose that name for yourself? I don't know. It felt like it fit. Do you know what it means? Keb was growing frustrated by her questions. Why is she asking me this? I don't have parents or relatives, and I lost my only friend. I have nothing. I don't even have a proper name. He spoke again. It means Earth. Not that the meaning is relevant. The planet doesn't exist. Much like everyone I've ever cared about. I've heard of this beautiful planet Earth, our ancient home. I long to see it. Alright, Firehawk, I know that you went through a traumatic experience at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that almost everybody Arcadia knows, except for Dawn, is also long gone. Maybe Dan, depending on what Danon is. What do you want from me? Get out of here! Keb looked up and was shocked by what he saw. Arcadia was tearing up, but she still had a bright smile on her face. My name is Arcadia. It's a name given to me by my parents. It means a place of safety. He leaned forward and pulled her into his arms and began to weep. Arcadia joined him in tears, as if she wanted to cry for a very long time. They hugged each other tightly and cried on each other's shoulders. You've lost someone you care about. Let yourself cry. Let it all out. Arcadia's words were as much for herself as they were for him. Keb finally understood the nature of Arcadia's existence. She had slept through time, and all the people she knew and loved were gone. She also had the duty of saving the galaxy from the virus, and had carried that burden alone all this time. Keb also remembered her words. I can't believe it's happening again. The words struck him like a dagger. Did she witness the entire destruction of her people? Does she somehow feel responsible? I thought that no one had lost more than me. I'm so sorry, Arcadia. Can you ever forgive me? Arcadia felt comforted that he used her real name. We've all lost people that we love, Keb, she said as she cried. The words are barely audible. Don't think this means I'm not mad at you for yelling at Dawn. She's gone through a lot too, you know. She said the words as she gripped him tighter. It seemed like the pain would never end for both of them. Would they ever find peace? It was in that moment that Keb and Arcadia felt an arm lay softly on their backs. Okay. I'm just thinking about that but alright. Omni link established. Dawn spoke the words aloud as she wrapped her arms around them. Keb and Arcadia kept their eyes closed as they felt the warmness of her body and energy. Whatever miracle transpired, it gave them both an undeniable feeling of comfort and peace. Dawn shared in the pain the two could not bear alone. What made it possible? Omnilink connected to technology, but in that moment she linked to their body and soul. Dawn released her warm embrace and everyone opened their eyes. You were in distress, so I came to help. You say it so humbly. I feel like I've completely recovered. Whatever you did, Dawn, I'm no longer in pain. And you too, Arcadia. You came after me, and I'll never forget that. Because of you. Both of you. I feel like everything will turn out fine. Thank you, Dawn. You always amaze me, and you came to my rescue. You've gone beyond what you're programmed to do. And Keb. I really needed someone to hold on to, even if only a moment. I'm glad it was you. The air grew still and silent as they reflected on what was said. We should get moving now, shouldn't we? Dawn stuttered her words from the tension building in the room. There should be T's there instead of D. A stud is like a bracket. Keb was about to make a comment about it, but decided not to. Absolutely right, Dawn. Let's send the virus packing to another dimension. Let's hit them with everything we've got. The excitement helped Dawn return to her old self. While you were gone, I got a call from Danon. He would like to meet to discuss an assault against the virus. Crazy timing. What are the details? To meet him in the Remno system at Remno Station in a few days. That place again? I know what he is to you. Are you ready to meet him? I'm ready to face my past, but before we go, I have something I need to tell you. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I think I can talk about a few things now. About the past? Yes. And about the Danon I know from the past. The virus destroyed my people. They completely wiped them out, and it's my fault. Keb stood quiet, listening intently. Before I created Dawn, or D8 as I called her then, I was Astro's prized prodigy within the Astro Science Department. My only equal and head of the department was Danon, chief scientist. Together we invented many advanced technologies and improved astro life for all citizens. I was born during a time when my people struggled greatly with strife and contention. Did you invent the virus? That's why my people named me Arcadia, a symbol of hope. And I began to believe it. My people looked up to me, and even things began to change for the better. But I was young and foolish. Danon and I worked on a project to link all our people's technology together as one. By that time, our colonies expanded over vast distances, and our fleets were numerous. It seemed like such a good idea at the time, to have an AI that could monitor our transportation, communication, production, and even monitor crime and distress. I wanted to ease the burden of my people, and so began our first prototype, D1. That name? It's similar to Dawn's designation. D1 was just the first. After several failed attempts, Danon and I successfully achieved Omnilink with Ectite Model D7. I think I understand where this is going. Danon was obsessed with the D project, named after him if you could believe it. I wanted to stop the project, it felt wrong, and my partner Danon began acting strangely. Omnilink not only connected technology, it did so on a molecular level. For a while, I did the right thing. I argued before the Astro Council that the project be disbanded. After that, Danon spread lies about me and the project. I was once praised as a symbol of hope, but eventually the people began to think that what I wanted wasn't in their best interest. There were even calls to remove me from the department. People started to hate me, but at least my family and friends still believed in me. What happened then? The music is like really loud in my headset right now, so I'm having trouble making sure that my tone tries to match what I'm reading. Like it's a very action-oriented song right now. Although I guess it could be interpreted as grief or pain. That being said, I'm generally pretty monotone as it is, so I think I need every edge I can get when it comes to reading these lines. I gave in. I relented and gave my approval for D7's launch. At first, everything was great. It worked better than expected. Crime rates shot down, trade flourished, and even medical advancements were made. But D7 wasn't just any AI, it was the virus. Not to say it was infected with the virus, it was built as one from the beginning. Like any good virus, it remained hidden. Dan had worked covertly and manipulated D7 with his own personality matrix and programming. He waited till the right time to strike. When it finally happened, all our ships were controlled by the AI, and they began attacking the people. Even all our colonies were wiped out in what seemed like an instant. Arcadia's eyes began to water again. You don't have to say anymore. I have to finish the story. I don't know what happened to Danon, but some of us were able to escape. A few council members and military leaders brought me to a secure location. Together, we constructed Morpher, and I began working on D8. You should have seen her when she first appeared. She was so beautiful. Using my own personality matrix, I programmed D8 to learn, think for herself, and grow. I made her an individual, but also with the power of Omni Link. She was built as the ultimate weapon to hunt and destroy D7. Thank you for explaining this. I know it's hard. Now that we understand our enemy, it's time to move forward. After Kev's comment, Dawn began to emit particles and looked like she was half ready to transform into battle mode. Then she punched her fist with great force into her palm with a smack. I'm ready to kick some serious virus butt. Might have been faster to go to the right, but I have no idea how far the map extends to the right. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a square quadrant or anything. Ding dong! Found you again! Why would I pass this opportunity to explore an advanced ship? I don't think so, Buster. Arcadia's hands flashed across the key panel at lightning speed. The static face centered on the view screen faded from view. Don't underestimate you, second-rate hacker. What's going on? This hacker managed to infiltrate our systems twice, but no need to worry. I upgraded our firewall with a NetFlex quadrangle encryption and highly complex astral algorithms. There's no way they could reach us again. I'm surprised they were able to in the first place. This ship and my systems are made of technology that doesn't exist anymore. It's highly unlikely that someone could breach our systems. You are vulnerable to cyber attacks. I never thought of an enemy attacking us that way. This is ominous. Not only for the hacker, but for the virus. Such attacks, do not worry. I am as strong mentally as I am physically. Shall we be on our way then? Yeah, I know that the portal's there. I kind of want to circle there and make sure that there's nothing left. Like Daniel's not sitting in an escape pod or something. This only seems to move during plot segments then, rather than the amount of times you travel. As for fuel, I haven't needed fuel since I got that first case. And there's some red dots here. Let's deal with those. Maybe I'll get some medkits. You made this a lot of fun, but I've got what I need, so I'll be on my way now. Arcadia? I think your hacker got into the ship's system again. Arcadia walked into the room and looked at the view screen. How did you get past my security? That was the most fun I've had in a long time. You're pretty good. Not good enough if you get through my encryption. I have something that would take care of you permanently. Fine with me, I have what I came for. The view screen went dark as the hacker closed off communication. Don, I want you to help me boost security. Let's try 5D multiplane protocols. There was no response. Uh-oh. Are you there? Kev and Arcadia looked around. It was like she vanished. She was here just a second ago. A large hum emitted as the lights dimmed, and the power of the ship decreased to standby mode. She's gone. The engine stopped responding and weapons locked up. This is bad. I'm not liking the tone in your voice. Dawn is no longer in the computers. Well, yes, guys. The ship can't operate without her. The hacker stole her. He erased her program from Morpher's systems. We're dead in the water. Alright, so hold on. This is the problem with using AI in video games. Not that they get erased or anything, but often when you have AI in video games that try to be like a unique personality, you have these concepts such as getting erased. So basically, the hacker didn't move her. If you say erase, then that means that he copied her and then erased the remaining evidence or the remnants or the original. So essentially, you could have as many Dawns as you wanted. Then that cheapens the effect of that unique AI. They were both speechless by the new revelation. This is a heavily populated aerospace. We're like sitting space rats. I'll see if I can trace the connection. At least we can find out where they took her. Arcadia returned to the controls, and all Keb could do was sit and wait, and wait, and wait. 2 hours later. Keb awoke suddenly to Arcadia calling out. He must have fallen asleep. He didn't hear what Arcadia said, so he approached her. Any luck? I can't get a signal trace, and it doesn't help that the ship does not function at full capacity without Dawn. Why don't you get some rest and I'll see what I can do? I am a little tired. Arcadia stood from the cockpit seat and headed to her room to rest. I'm glad that the enemy is not like shooting me during all this dialogue, though. That is helpful. Some games you can't really enjoy the dialogue or anything because the world is happening while you do it. Such as you might be underwater or something and you're like limited oxygen or whatever. That's not a specific example. It's just one I just made up right there. Despite the short nap, Keb felt exhausted, so he plopped into the cockpit chair. He sat comfortable for a few minutes, then laid his hand on the controls. The ship powered up, and navigational controls appeared on the screen once again. All systems functions operational. A large thud was heard in the distance. It sounded like Arcadia fell off her bed. I guess she was very surprised that Keb can control the ship. I still don't know what that ring is, and I imagine it will have something to do with this. Either that, or Dawn has like this serious, ethereal link with Keb. Arcadia ran out from her room into the cockpit area with dreary eyes, half asleep from her power nap. It's just like a couple minutes. The ship is running. Is Dawn back? You were flying it earlier, weren't you? Your hands were already there. I just put my hands on the panels. I swear I didn't do anything. Keb stood up from the cockpit chair, but the ship remained powered. Right then, a sharp pain hit Keb's head, and his ears started ringing. I'm not feeling so good. Arcadia ran to support him. Are you hurt? What happened? I feel dizzy. The pain hit him again, and he screamed. Hang in there, I'll get you to a bed and grab medical equipment. Arcadia supported his weight and laid him down on her bed. Once he was comfortable, Arcadia ran to grab her supplies. By the time she returned, Keb passed out from shock. Uh-oh, bad guy. Looks like he's passing by though, so it doesn't look like I'm like nowhere near that point where the game will have me resume control. 10 minutes later. Wake up, Keb! Wake up! Arcadia pinched Keb's cheeks while shaking his face as he opened his eyes. What? What are you doing? I wasn't going to wait a couple hours to tell you what happened. I want to tell you now. Is this some modern medical treatment you're giving me? Keb said with his cheeks still pinched. She released her grip. I would have poured water on you if available. The application of that procedure is still applicable. But no, the real treatment only took 2 minutes. I feel better. Keb sat up and looked to her for answers. Do you know what happened? I couldn't wait to tell you. Remember how Dawn's been changing and I couldn't figure out what's wrong with her? Well, it turns out nothing is wrong with her. Something's wrong with you. I could have told you that. Okay, that one was a decent line. I'm serious. I was scanning your brain and found some interesting readings. There are some patterns of activities similar to Dawn's neural net. To put it simply, both of you are mentally linked together. You're joking, right? This is when she healed him? I kind of remember something about him getting healed. I kind of remember, I don't know if it was only the first playthrough, which didn't get published, or the second playthrough afterwards, but I kind of felt that that would be a very important relationship later on. I said I was serious. This explains everything that's been happening. The reason Dawn expresses human emotions and senses like touch and taste. You're saying we're connected to each other? Omni-Link works on a molecular level. Somehow that ability has fused you and her together. Dawn is exhibiting human qualities. You are starting to manifest artificial qualities. This is sort of exciting for me. Arcadia started to probe Kev's head with her instrument and fingers while giggling. Stop that! You're not going to use me as a test subject. The ship remains fully functional with you on board. I wouldn't be surprised if you can control morphic duplication. There's only one way to find out. Kev made his way to the cockpit and sat down while Arcadia followed. Kev normally told Dawn which ship to transform into. This time it was different. Morpher understood Kev's thoughts and could now transform according to his will. We have a few days until our appointment with Dana. That gives us time. I'm not meeting him without her. Now that the ship is functional, it won't be long until we find her. Strange, but I have a feeling I know exactly where she is. Alright, well, let's kill these ships if we can. I don't want to hurt any of the other ships though, so I gotta be careful not to shoot some of the greys. Like here's a gray passing by right now. Okay, money. More money. Wait to see if there's medical stuff so I can switch over to one of my hurt ships. I might just fly this thing forever. With its self-regenerating ability, it makes it basically my best ship for a cheapskate like me. No, if enemies infinitely respawn, then yeah, I'll just pay the $50 to get more fuel and repairs. Wow. I kind of wondered what that one was up to. You know, I don't think I saved in a while either. But let's go ahead and move on. I thought it was very odd. I was kind of suspicious. I was going to say, like, you know, in a normal circumstance, I'd feel very paranoid about that thing. But I didn't think anything like that was going to happen in this game where it just eventually clubbed me so hard I lost my vessel. I think I will end up loading it. But I'm going to go and proceed on. Because this is my slim chance to record right now. Why can't I? Do I need a different file?
Warp systems failing.
Explore the hidden star sector. This area of space is in Zal's territory and has nothing of interest. It has a sun with no planets. Most ships do not recognize this area on their star charts.